In a courtroom built on centuries of tradition, one man did the unthinkable. When a federal judge laughed in his face, Elon Musk didn't crumble, he calculated. What happened next wasn't just a legal twist, it was a once-in-a-generation moment that redefined power, pride, and the rules themselves. Why did Musk refuse to fight by the book? How did he turn certain defeat into a move so bold that it shook the entire legal world? Stay with us as we reveal the breathtaking strategy that left an entire courtroom and a watching nation speechless. The heavy oak doors of the United States District Court for the Northern District of California creaked open, and a hush swept over the crowded courtroom. This wasn't just another corporate trial. This was a showdown between one of the most powerful judges in America and a man who had spent his life bending reality to his will, Elon Musk. The smell of polished wood and old paper lingered in the air as journalists crammed into every available space, their cameras flashing like lightning strikes in a gathering storm. At the defense table, Musk sat motionless, his face unreadable, hands clasped tightly in front of him. To most, he was a titan, a visionary, a rule-breaker who had built empires out of sheer audacity. But today, stripped of his spaceships and software, he was just another man in a suit facing the cold weight of American justice. Judge Edward Chen entered the chamber, his black robes billowing behind him, his face a mask of calm authority. A man of tradition, of meticulous law, and of little tolerance for showmanship. He adjusted his glasses and scanned the room slowly, his gaze lingering on Musk with a glint of something. Was it skepticism, amusement, or a quiet challenge? The courtroom settled into an uneasy silence. Chen's gavel struck once, echoing like a gunshot. "This court is now in session," he announced. His voice was firm but measured, the voice of a man used to command. For days leading up to this moment, media outlets had speculated endlessly. Would Musk apologize? Would he defy the court? Would the world witness the downfall of one of its most dazzling figures? As Judge Chen began reading through the procedural notes, Musk's eyes didn't waver. He wasn't listening to the words. He was studying the battlefield. The old instincts kicked in, the ones that had launched rockets against impossible odds, that had disrupted industries no one dared touch. He knew that here, charm wouldn't work. Wit wouldn't work. Not even genius would be enough. Across the aisle, the attorneys representing the Tesla shareholders exchanged glances. They sensed blood in the water. They had prepared for a war of attrition, years of legal battles to grind down the man who thought he was above rules. But they underestimated something vital about Elon Musk: that he never fought fair. He fought to redefine the battlefield itself. As Chen launched into a preliminary statement questioning Musk's defense, that his funding-secured tweet was aspirational and not a literal guarantee, the tension in the room thickened. The judge leaned forward slightly, a faint smile curling at his lips. "Mr. Musk," he said, his voice slicing through the stillness, "your argument is not just flawed. It's laughable." And then, in a moment that would go viral within minutes, Judge Chen chuckled. A short, sharp sound, dismissive, cutting, unforgettable. Around the courtroom, reporters froze mid-sentence, eyes wide. Musk's face remained impassive, but inside something flared. Not anger. Not fear. Resolve. He would not let this be another battle fought on someone else's terms. Not this time. Not here. As the laughter faded and the legal proceedings resumed, Musk's fingers drummed lightly against the polished wood of the defendant's table, a steady, silent rhythm of planning. Before the day ended, he would do something so unprecedented, so radical, that it would leave the legal world, and the world beyond it, reeling. The court thought it was about to break Elon Musk. They had no idea he was already rewriting the rules of the game. As the echoes of Judge Chen's laughter faded, a cold clarity settled over Elon Musk that he wasn't angry, at least not in the way most people understood anger. He had long since learned that in moments of public humiliation, real power came not from retaliation, but from reinvention. Sitting rigid at the defense table, Musk's mind raced with 1,000 calculations. Not legal strategies. Those were crumbling fast under Judge Chen's relentless dismantling, but tactical ones. What move could turn this battlefield upside down? He needed something bigger than a courtroom argument. He needed a spectacle. And he needed it fast. The hum of whispered conversations filled the courtroom as the lawyers shuffled papers and prepped for the next round of hearings. But Musk barely heard them. His phone, discreetly tucked under the table, glowed with incoming messages from his inner circle, advisors, executives, loyalists who knew him well enough to understand. The more they cornered him, the more unpredictable and unstoppable he became. An idea sparked. Unconventional. Risky. Unprecedented. Perfect. Across the room, Victoria Reynolds, the fierce, polished attorney representing the Tesla shareholders, watched Musk with narrowed eyes. She had seen many powerful men collapse under the pressure of federal litigation. Musk didn't look like he was collapsing. He looked like he was waiting for something. Meanwhile, Judge Chen pressed forward, laying out precedent after precedent, reinforcing the court's stance. Every word he spoke tightened the walls around Musk. Every citation to securities law further caged the possibility of a traditional defense. There would be no clean escape here. But Elon Musk had never been a man who needed clean escapes. He needed impact. And when the bailiff called the court back into session after the lunch break, Musk made his move. He rose to his feet, ignoring the panicked whispers of his legal team. The courtroom collectively inhaled as he asked, calmly but firmly, for permission to address the court directly. A ripple of astonishment moved through the gallery. Defendants didn't do this. Especially not billionaires with everything to lose. Judge Chen, eyebrows raised, considered him for a long moment before granting permission. Musk stepped forward, not with arrogance, but with the precise, deliberate confidence of a man stepping onto a launch pad. He spoke clearly, without a single note or legal script in his hand. "Your Honor," he began, "I recognize that my words carried consequences beyond what I intended. I also recognize that defending them through endless technicalities would only erode public trust, both in me and in the markets I believe in." A murmur ran through the courtroom. Even the most jaded reporters leaned in. Musk continued, "Rather than hide behind legal defenses, I choose to act. I propose an immediate, unconditional creation of a $3 billion restitution fund for any investor who can demonstrate actual loss related to my tweet. No court battle. No delays. No denials." There was a stunned silence. He wasn't finished. "I will also allocate $2 billion to support securities regulation enforcement and investor education, so mistakes like mine, intentional or not, have a far smaller chance of causing damage in the future." The impact of his words rippled through the room like a shockwave. Judge Chen leaned back, studying him with renewed interest. And then Musk made the final, devastating move. "To demonstrate personal accountability, I will forfeit all Tesla stock option bonuses for the next 3 years, redirecting them to Tesla's factory workers." Audible gasps filled the courtroom. Even Victoria Reynolds, hardened by decades of legal warfare, blinked in disbelief. It wasn't just an apology. It was a redefinition of the battlefield itself. And Musk had just planted his flag on it. As reporters sprinted out of the courtroom to break the story, Musk sat down slowly, his face unreadable once again. But this time, there was a quiet certainty in his posture. He hadn't won by playing the game. He had changed it. The courtroom, once thick with tension, now buzzed with a stunned, almost reverent silence. Elon Musk had not just defended himself. He had transformed a legal ambush into a statement of character, vision, and audacity. Judge Chen, known for his meticulous adherence to legal tradition, found himself navigating uncharted waters. After a brief consultation with the attorneys from both sides, he called the court back to order. His voice, while still formal, carried a tone of reluctant admiration. "This court acknowledges Mr. Musk's extraordinary proposal," Chen said. "While unconventional, it addresses the core principles of investor protection and market integrity. Accordingly, the court will accept the outlined settlement terms." A wave of murmured disbelief swept through the gallery. Musk had not just salvaged his position, he had elevated it. As Musk exited the courtroom, flashes from reporters' cameras lit his path. But unlike previous public appearances where he radiated brash defiance, today there was a different aura around him, one of quiet triumph. A man who had been publicly mocked had turned humiliation into innovation. Within hours, headlines blazed across the globe. Musk flips the courtroom, and the narrative. Elon Musk's $5 billion move. A new standard for accountability? Meanwhile, in corporate boardrooms and law schools alike, a new case study was being born. When the system closes every door, a true disruptor builds a new one. Elon Musk hadn't just won a legal battle. He had once again proven that when the stakes are highest, he doesn't follow the rules. He rewrites them. In the end, it wasn't just a courtroom victory or a corporate maneuver. It was a reminder that in a world ruled by rules, true game changers don't just play. They rewrite the game. Stay tuned, because with Elon Musk, the next move is always bigger than anyone expects.